Hi everyone, I'm Wendy Dio. We're here with the Ronnie James Dio Stand Up and Shout Cancer Fund, raising money for cancer research and education. We're at Pins Bowling to raise money. Last year we had a fun time with Eddie Trunk, and he's here again supporting us as usual. All the celebrities giving their time and their talent for us, and we're hoping to raise a bunch of money. We are presenting UCLA with a check for $25,000 tonight, which is our second check that we presented to them, and because Dr. Wong has a research on a saliva test, which we're hoping will be able to use in 3 years.
Ronnie James Dio is not just one of the greatest heavy metal singers of all time, he's one of the greatest singers of all time. And it was records, you know, from Last in Line to Mob Rules to Holy Diver to Heaven and Hell, which were four of my, like the seminal records of my young rock life. I paid a lot of American money to see Ronnie James Dio at Alpine Valley in Chicago as a kid. Huge fan, miss him so much. Had the opportunity to meet him, you know, once or twice. We rehearsed in the same place with Audio Slave. He was a great guy in person. I miss him so much. And we're gonna, you know, the good news is his music lives on, and we're going to bowl in his memory and his honor tonight.
His family was the whole world. He was the type of man that treated his fans like equals. He loved them, he cared about them, and for the moment, that moment that you had with him, he made you feel like you were the only one in the room and the only one that mattered. And it wasn't because it was good customer service, it's because it was from his heart. He started out as a fan, and stayed that way, and that fire within him was pure and stayed lit his whole life. And it just got brighter and stronger and hotter. And so, I don't know, sometimes I'm at a loss for words at those kind of things, but that he was family to me.
One of my favorite memories about Ronnie, when I first started touring with him, I couldn't believe it, that every time he went to a city to do a show, after the show, he would remember everybody's names that he had previously met that had returned, come back to see the next show. Not only their names, but their family members' names. It was just mind-boggling. He did that everywhere we went around the world. Just incredible, you know, just incredible. The most gracious, amazing vocalist I've ever worked with. And of course, you miss it.
The first gig I ever did, a national gig in Quiet Riot, was with Dio on the Japan Aid 2 festival. And we flew over together all in the same plane, all the bands and everything. And, you know, I was just a very young kid, and Ronnie James Dio kind of showed me how to carry myself. And, you know, he kind of showed us how to treat fans and carry ourselves and be good to everyone. And, you know, I never forgot that. And we became friends over the years. And he really was a great mentor for me and a lot of other rock and rollers.
The song that really got me and made me insane for Dio was Sign of the Southern Cross off of Mob Rules. And then I went back and I listened to Rainbow and I listened to everything else. And then I was the perfect age when, I was like 14 or 15 when Lock Up the Wolves came out. And that was just an insanely great record for me too. In addition to all the classic albums, and, you know.
His vocal prowess is beyond reproach in my mind, especially for a metal vocalist. He brought so much life to what he sang and the music he made. And obviously he continues to influence metal and everybody in it to this day. So he's an icon, of course.
Ronnie James Dio just defined metal music and genuine human being and his contribution to the metal community.
I have a sister who's 7 years older than me, and she had Holy Diver like right when it came out. That album's very important to me. Over the years, it made me research all of his other stuff, like the Rainbow stuff, and even some of the 50s stuff. So to me, he's very inspiring. One of the greatest singers of all time with a great ear for guitar players. And as a guitar player, it's like I can't help but love like what Vivian Campbell did with him, and of course Richie Blackmore and guys like Craig Goldy. So I'm a big fan, you know.
Everything. That guy, one of the best vocalist ever. He brought like almost an operatic presence to rock and roll music. I mean, first time I ever heard him, like really heard him, was during Heaven and Hell. And at the time, I wasn't really listening to a lot of rock. I was more listening to punk and all that stuff. But when I first heard Heaven and Hell, that was everything for me when I first heard it. I love Dio. Ronnie James Dio is one of the best vocalists ever.
As a kid growing up, listening to his music and his voice, it brought a mysticism to heavy metal, and I really always appreciated that. And I always wanted to be a singer, but when I heard someone like Ronnie, I just rather listen to him, and that's why I picked up guitar. And I'm really grateful that Wendy is doing so much to keep his name alive and to keep awareness and bring a lot of money to support fighting cancer.
He's inspired like many generations, you know, like it doesn't matter where you come from, how you look, what you are, what you feel inside, and what you bring out with his voice, what he brought out, created a whole magical genre of music, and that was, to me, you know, metal music. So growing up, listening to his music and his voice, you know, it touches, it's timeless, you know, it lasts forever. So for me, he's put a stamp, you know, in the musical history. It's gonna resonate forever. So his music is in here. That's it, you know.
Huge source of inspiration, one of the best vocalists of all time, if not the best. There's nothing I enjoy more than getting up and singing some Neon Nights in front of a crowd of however many you want to put out there. I'll sing the shit out of that song. So he's just a pillar of strength, man. He was what metal was all about. I was fortunate enough to hang with him quite a few times. I hope some of his juju rubbed off on me, but the whole foundation and Wendy, it means the world to me that someone like Ronnie made enough of an impression on the world that hopefully he makes a difference after it's all over. I mean, his life is over. He lives on by saving lives and raising money and fighting cancer.
Okay, here it is. My mom's gonna see this. You know, here it is 30 years later, dating myself. I cut school one day with some friends, and this older kid came along, he had a boombox back in the day, and he just got Holy Diver, and it had just come out. And he's listening to this thing. We start hanging out, and we're under the bridge by the river. I mean, as crazy as that sounds, and we're listening to Holy Diver. I'm like, what is this? You know, he's like, oh, it's Ronnie James Dio. You know, you sing for Black Sabbath, this new solo band. That was it. It became my favorite album from there on. I mean, I list that as one of my top 5 greats of all time, Holy Diver. So that tells you what it means to me. You know, that's really what forged my, you know, my guitar playing and just my overall outlook at heavy metal and, you know, what it means to me. So Dio is really what just gave me the most excitement of all time about playing metal and sticking to it all this time.
One of the main things that I've always had with Ronnie James Dio is I've actually been lucky enough to meet him throughout my life a few different times, and every single time it's seriously the most inspirational person I've ever met. And everything he said is just the most genuine, actual caring for a fan's point of view and everything.
I can't say enough good things about the man. As great of a singer as he was a better human being. And he helped so many people that you don't even know about.
I've been a fan.
I feel it's one of my life's privileges and honors to be able to work with him.
Well, he was is a mentor directly and indirectly to a lot of musicians that were my idols growing up, and he was friends with so many people, fans and people in the business. I mean, I don't know how to find a word, but it's definitely I don't want to use the word grandfather because he wasn't that old, but I mean, he goes way back, and his career was really long, and he meant a lot, everything to so many people that, as we all know.
I'm John Petrucci from Dream Theater, and then I'm here with, what was your name again, sir?
I'm John Petrucci from Dream Theater.
That can't possibly be right.